Hello, us up out there in YouTube land. This is your boy Shelvon and my man over here rocking Ricky B. I don't know why I called you Ricky B. I feel like a 90s
I got a new nickname.
I feel like a 90s DJ with that shit. But how y'all doing out there? My man Ricky is feeling a little bit under the weather, so he doesn't want to show his face. Which is okay. Because periodically StreamYard decides that it doesn't want to see my face either. So you'll see we can get through the entire episode before that happens. I think it happened like every week we've been doing this. And
2 weeks ago, that's when your camera went out.
Right, and it did it last week. So, but I'd like to welcome you to the UN podcast. One thing that I'm trying to figure out, I still haven't figured out what the UN means. It was a play off of, since we're all of different ethnicities, we're like the UN, but
United Nations.
Right, but it's like I want to that was the whole idea at first, and I was trying to figure out a funny thing with the initials, and I couldn't figure it out. So I don't know. Maybe at some point when we get big enough, we can have a contest or something like that, where somebody can figure out what UN actually stands for. But that's just kind of how it goes. All right. So we had this weekend. We had a lot of stuff happening this weekend. One of the ones was Captain America 4. And did you watch the All-Star game at all?
No, I didn't.
More of an entertainment.
I didn't pay attention to that. I didn't.
Yeah, this is more of the entertainment side, because it basically was the last All-Star that the TNT guys are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a bittersweet kind of thing. The game was the game, and the halftime stuff and all that stuff. So entertainment wise, it just was a typical halftime show.
No, I didn't waste my time.
Yeah. You didn't really miss much. Okay, so we're going to get into the first article discussing the gloriousness that is Captain America 4. Let me share the screen. All right. Okie dokie. This is brought to us by comicbookmovie.com. Captain America Brave New World exceeds box office predictions with 192 million global debut. Despite middling reviews from critics, 51% on Rotten Tomatoes, which most people don't really pay attention to anymore, so that don't matter. And a B- cinema score from moviegoers. Apparently, is that's the worst of all the Marvel movies. And the way the movie score cinema score kind of works is anything less than an A- is considered a failure for some reason.
What are they always talking about Rotten Tomatoes? Is that like they base everything on that on movies or what?
Well, no, it's a collection of critics. So it used to mean something before it went like woke, because Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel comes out, everyone's like, oh, I don't want to see this. I don't blah blah blah. So they decided to, because it is owned by movie companies.
Oh, okay.
So it's not it was an independent thing at first, and then it got bought out by one of these movie studios. I can't remember which one, but
you don't think they did it on purpose?
Yeah, of course they did.
Cut it off.
Yeah. So to slant whatever, like a cabal, it's like every damn thing else. Everything is owned by something.
Mm-hmm.
So like 6 people own freaking everything
to manipulate the whole thing. Yeah,
right. And then eventually, what they did though is, and I've seen a lot of stuff, especially like when you get in terms of the politics and whatever, when it comes to like podcasts and stuff like that. Part of the reason why everyone is drifting over to podcasts, because one, each podcast will have their own opinion. It's their opinion. They let you know that from the jump, so you know what you're getting into. And if they're going to be biased, because they're all kind of biased. You look, the ones that are doing the best tends to be kind of biased in one direction, but they're more authentic, so it's not fake, right?
Yeah, but a lot of the podcasts, even though they're creating their own thing, a lot of their advertisement, all that, there's stuff that they can be saying. You know what I mean? So right. A lot of podcasting is starting to be like fake too.
Right. So the good thing about it is you can just drop it. So
yeah, that's true.
It's like CNN and MSNBC and the rest of those are kind of, and to not drift off into this kind of stuff a little too much, because younger people don't understand how the world kind of when I was younger. You know, like 3 channels. You got all your news from newspapers and that. So, and to bring it back to the entertainment thing, you relied on movie critics to kind of tell you how a movie was, because it was like
Yeah, that was on the news. Like that 5 minute at the end where about a movie, the critics tell you about like for 5 minutes at the end of the newscast.
right, and like movie going was like way different because a lot of times you would just go to the movie theater and see what was showing. So summertime, you got summertime movies. More like the older I got, the more special effects type stuff. So you start to get the summer blockbuster. But before that, it was just movies, and you guys went out to see a movie, and then you got there and you looked at what was showing, and then you just picked because the amount of information that we were given was not nowhere near as much as it is now. Now you can go out and you can you get previews, you get bootleg, you get all kind of crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, you're not beholden to one thing. So just like you said, the podcasts are getting like some of them are getting fake. Yeah, and then they eventually lose their subscriber base because they're not authentic. It starts to be it becomes pretty obvious that they're not. It's like they're trying to I don't know, trying to maintain some kind of
just make up stuff so people go watch,
right. So people don't really like that, so they don't rock with that too much.
Yeah.
All right. So that's why the Rotten Tomatoes thing doesn't really matter as much because there's plenty of people who will give you their honest opinion, and if you like how their opinion is, then you would go with how they view the movie. And you got your favorite YouTubers and TikTokers and whatever. It's the same thing. There's so many options now that Rotten Tomatoes saying something's 51%. So I don't care. I don't care what none of people think, because a lot of that is just like when you get to like the awards and all that stuff. It's like somebody has 17 Grammys. So
yeah, but now we find out those Grammys are fake. So
right. So that's the thing is like since we got more and more information, that doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just their record company pay more money for them to win a Grammy.
Yeah.
And it's like 6 people are voting on this stuff. But that's what you wind up with Beyonce winning the best country album, which is like, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's all fake now. All that stuff is so fake.
No, dude. Like, if you want to get a little bit of inside baseball, T-Pain has a video where he basically breaks down how Spotify and all that shit works. It's the same shit. It's just, they hire a bunch of bots, they boost your stuff to get it up high enough where people get more interested in listening to it, and then that's how you get all your views. So I'm like all your listens. This shit don't mean anything. So if you don't have that apparatus, it's harder for you to get those listens. It's just kind of how it is. So, we are in an interesting time of change in a lot of directions, and that's one of them. And depending on how old the person is, they don't really recognize that yet. So, according to Deadline, the movie performed better than expected Saturday with 2.7 million. Both Disney and rival studios predicted a 4-day opening weekend of 100 million and a global debut of 192. A couple of million above early estimates. Disney dropped the ball with Captain America: Brave New World released in UK, where the movie has been soundly beaten by Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. Okay. The latest Marvel Studios title dropped Wednesday in several countries, but UK wasn't them, robbing it of a chance to get a jump on the final installment of that classic rom-com franchise. Sure, okay. Still impressive global bout, though. Back in North America, it hit 88.5 3-day which is not a lot. Sequel at the fourth biggest President's Day weekend of all time behind the Black Panther, Deadpool, Ant-Man, and Quantumania. So like 242, 152, and 120. On a critical hit. Captain America: Brave New World is the 35th consecutive movie to open at number 1 domestically. There is literally nothing out. Right? Is there anything out besides that? Like at all? Nothing. So that's not. I'm like you were the best butt kicker in a one-man butt kicking contest.
I'm surprised they didn't release the movie on Friday.
No, it's on Friday, but they pushed it so it's like this weird crap where it used to be like they would have like a Thursday midnight showing, and then they started pushing it to Wednesday, and then it's like this weird thing where it all gets counted in the Friday.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like, dude, they're trying to cook the books. It's been criticized for its relatively straightforward story, while fans have expressed frustration with the changes made through reshoots. For regular moviegoers and casual MCU fans, seeing Cap battle Red Hawk may be enough of a good time. Weekend number 2 will still be the key, though. All right. Okay, and this just gives a breakdown of that. There is another article. Well, they kind of break it down of how much it needs to make because it costs so much to shoot this damn thing, and it has so many reshoots. It's like, see if they actually break it down. 87. There have been some wild claims that the budget blown into 300 million after reshoots, though there remains little more than a rumor at this stage. You reshoot this movie 3 times, it's gonna be expensive. I don't know how people try to pretend, and that's what I don't get. It's like, if you're gonna lie, at least make it a smart lie. You reshot the movie like 3 times, multiple reshoots. It's not like a little touch up. It was like a whole changes. It's like Seth Rollins, the wrestler, it says like he had a whole part that just got reshot out. So he's like, don't go see it because if you're going to see it to see me, I'm not in it anymore. And
who makes all these changes? Who makes all these changes?
It is test screenings and stuff like that. So you got to remember how long it takes for them to make these damn things. And
how long this movie took?
Like 2-3 years.
Damn.
But dude, the Blade movie was supposed to be out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you green light a script depending on where the viewing public is. So that's when you greenlit it. So it's like when this was greenlit, this is full blown Black Lives Matter, all that stuff. That's why the TV show, when it could have been a good show, was crap because it was all Black Lives Matter nonsense. So it's like, so you greenlight a script from that, and it's feeding into what you think the world is. Because remember, 2 years ago, they actually thought that this stuff was going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, yeah, just like with the freaking Super Bowl, dude. The Super Bowl, and you saw the trailer for the G20 with Viola Davis.
The commercials?
No, did you see the trailer for G20? She has a movie coming out.
No, I didn't even pay attention. I was not really paying attention too much to the commercials.
Bro, all right. Let me see if I can. All right. So this is G20, dude. The like to dislike ratio on this shit is 77,000 upvotes, 55,000 downvotes.
Madam President, we have a situation. Ma'am, apprehension is minutes away.
A little much, don't you think, Mom?
Zip it. You and your brother are coming to Cape Town with us.
Why?
You know why.
All you ever care about is work.
You see that? Yeah.
I implore all world leaders to join me
We're not gonna watch this whole thing, but
at the G20 summit.
yeah.
To the government's watching, I've taken the G20 by force. When we launch Project Deepfake, we will reset the world's financial markets. You gotta read the words exactly as written.
Beige fox. Quick beige fox. Quick beige fox.
Now we control the narrative.
My husband and kids are missing. We have to find them. If you want to live, you'll follow my lead.
Now you're Captain America. I was quite Well done.
So now the girl beats up everybody.
Yeah. So you can pretty much guess when this was greenlit. And and it's just like when you look at the commercials on the NBA All-Star shit, every other commercial was a WNBA chick. So they must have swore that Kamala was gonna win. So this is a freaking fever dream of girl power nonsense.
So basically, the movies, the G20 are where all the powerful countries, like the 8 richest ones, are all get united, right?
This was the 20 of them. So this opens it up. The richest ones is
I'm
G8.
thinking of the other one.
Yeah, that's G8, which is G7 because they stopped asking Russia to come. And given how everything's going, it's probably going to ask them to come back at some point because it only makes sense. It's like, dude, the way that you stop freaking nuclear war from starting is you communicate. But that's a whole nother subject. So this stuff is greenlit years before. So in the mindset that they were thinking about, it's like, nah, bro, we gonna do this thing and we gonna girl power, and they were still doing the girl power movies. And then Furiosa comes out, and from what I've heard from anybody who saw it, it was a great movie. Nobody went to go see it because people are so over the girl boss stuff.
To be honest, like, to be honest, like, when is the last movie that you ever seen that was like, you know how back then you used to have these action movies and all that?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't came out a real action movie that really was that good, huh? For years.
Well, it depends.
No, I'm not talking about like Marvel and all that. Like just action movie.
The Beekeeper was good, but it's like a lot of people didn't like Black Adam. I like Black Adam because Black Adam reminded me of how they used to make action movies. They make no sense. The good guy just beat the crap out of everybody.
No, you're talking about The Rock, right?
Right, but it reminded me of Sylvester Stallone movies and Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, how it used to be.
Yeah,
right?
but I consider that more of a hero movie. I'm talking about like just say Steven Seagal, Sylvester Stallone, like
right.
Rambo.
Those are going to be smaller movies, and they tend to not like unless you like looking depending on how your algorithm for all your stuff is set up. You may not even know that they come out.
Mostly those. You think those are made for more series now, rather than movies?
No, they don't really make a lot of mid-price movies anymore. So it's like it's either big old action blockbusters or tiny little independent stuff. So the stuff that you're talking about is that mid-range kind of thing where they spend like $100 million on it, or 80 or something like somewhere in the middle. And they don't really do that anymore. They should, because it doesn't have to make as much money. It's like the Sonic movies. The Sonic movies didn't cost that much, so it doesn't really have to make that much. So if it makes $400 million, that is absolute. That is spectacular. That's why you're getting another one. It's the same thing with the Despicable Me and all that stuff. Those things cost like $100 million to make. So when it comes out, it makes $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $100 million. That is profit over profit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like one of the biggest problems from what I've read and saw about these Marvel movies is one, they don't plan anything out. So these movies cost way more than like Dune did. So Dune doesn't cost all that much, and the reason for that, and this is what the director said, is they plan everything out, every shot, every special effect, everything is a piece of paper. They do storyboards for everything. They work the entire movie out from the storyboards. Like you got to do a little retouches on stuff depending on whatever happened, but it's nowhere near as much as they have to do with Marvel, because the story works, all the beats, where the actors need to be, yada yada yada, camera angles and all that stuff. You're not doing it on the fly. Marvel movies cost so much is because they're just doing it on the fly. So you start making one movie and then you realize that the culture is going in a different direction. Then it's like, oh crap. And then you make another movie Like, then we got to go back to reshoot because we can't put it out because the culture is going in this direction.
So basically, the higher ups are always changing it.
Yes. That's the one of the woman who says she doesn't understand why the X-Men are called the X-Men because they have women in it. She was notorious. Dude, she was straight up notorious for that. So that all these special effects companies don't like working with Marvel because they change their mind all the time. So what happens is the movie comes out, the special effects look like dog crap.
Does she know that Jean, the woman, is the most strongest of all the X-Men?
She just see she's looking at it from a feminist angle. That's it.
No, I know, but I'm just saying Jean is one of the most strongest, from all of them.
No, she doesn't really understand that the term X-Men is not in talking about men or as in males. It's men as in like civilization type of thing. It's like mankind. Like you're not talking about just half the species. You talk about everybody when you say mankind.
No, I know, but I'm saying if you watch X-Men, you'll understand that.
Right, but that's not what you. But
all
that's
the girls were powerful, mostly more than the guys.
right. But that's not what she was talking about. She was just going on from the feminist, like, why is it called X-Men? She doesn't understand why it was called X-Men.
Oh,
So it had nothing to do with the actual people in it. And her whole point was they got women in it, so therefore it should be called something different. So anything. So if she eventually got fired because they needed a scapegoat because these movies cost too damn much. So let's see if according to the latest report, Captain America needs to earn around $425 million at the worldwide box office to break even. And its global debut this weekend expected to be around $200 million mark. This is a BS number because that number is like for 425, you're looking at a movie that would cost like $100 million to make, and your advertisement budget is like another 100 because the way that they get money is the box office in America, they get like 60%. And the box office worldwide, especially like in China is 25%. And I think in the other countries is like 40 or something like that. So for it to break even at that number, that means that the budget would have to be around 100, 150, which
but the difference from if you watch the one in China, they changed it, right? It's not the same movie we watch.
No, they don't. No, the only thing that they take out for certain stuff is essentially like sexual stuff, like homosexuality or whatever. That gets changed. That gets changed there. That gets changed in the Middle East. There's none of that stuff in these movies.
Oh,
so
okay.
right. So and a lot of American companies would just make the movie safe for China in the first place. So there's no cutting out anything. And that's why you get all these movies. If you look back, they had some random Chinese person in it. And then they would just show up in China for some reason, like the Transformers, because it was so big and like they made more money in the world than they did in America. So they just made it for China, and then everybody else just went for the spectacle. And that's when so they kind of stopped doing that because China is getting more strict with their stuff because they have their own they have their own movie business. So they don't need outside influence in their country. They don't want outside influence in their country, and they have enough movie studios to make their own movies.
Yeah.
They just had an animation movie that made $1 billion in China. So so they're getting more and more strict on what they allow in. And you don't get any money back anyway. So I don't know. It's like why they bending over back. You're like 25% of that. So like I said, this number is not legit because you cannot reshoot a movie like 3 different times, have all these special effects in it, and have that like cost be like 150, maybe $200 million. So this number is for people who think that the movie studios get all of the money back. They don't. They get like a say maybe a little over half of the money that's made. So of the 192, like 88, you're looking at maybe 60 million from the domestic, and of the other 100, maybe another 40 to 50. They like $100 million out of the 192, something like that.
I don't know. I don't know how these theaters are gonna survive. Just being honest.
For during COVID, it was a lot of money from the government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay. So they just gave a description of the movie at the bottom. So I don't want to give anything away since neither one of us have seen it. Yeah. And so just like this number is 420. That kind of ridiculous because I can't imagine that thing cost 150 million to make. Talk about special effects and how over budget most of these Marvel movies are in general.
I wonder how much Harrison Ford got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much money are they paying them? I'm pretty sure they're paying them more than
Mackie?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably.
Maybe like 20 million.
Well, yeah, and that just boosts the budget. All right. There was something that was kind of interested in. It's like, let's see if I can find it. All right. Because you got the Fantastic Four movie coming out. You know, it looks cool. Looks interesting. I don't really like Pedro Pascal. His Mr. Fantastic was kind of crap. It felt he was a little too feminine-ish because Mr. Fantastic is the leader of the Fantastic Four. So this basically, if there was a fan casting for Mr. Fantastic, it was John Krasinski, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people were so excited when he was in the Doctor Strange movie and kind of pissed off that they killed him the way that he did. They did. So it's like, hey, this is what you want. I'm gonna give it to you, but F you kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So finding out why changing Reed Richards' actor 2025 first steps after making his MCU debut as Mr. Fantastic in 2022. Some fans are confused as why John Krasinski has been replaced for Fantastic Four first steps. The Office star boarded the Marvel Studios train in 2022 with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Shocked moviegoers with a surprising debut as Reed Richards, the role that he has long been fan cast for, and a member of Earth 838 Illuminati to be quickly killed off. Start the obvious. No, John will not reprise his role as the smartest man alive. Reed Richards from Fantastic Four first steps. This time, Mr. Fantastic will be played by a much shorter Pedro Pascal, best known for because Reed Richards is over 6-something, and Pedro Pascal is not. The Mandalorian, the Chilean actor Wakanda Fifth to play the Fantastic Four leader after Alex Hyde and Ian. He was tall. He was somewhat tall. So, much like Doctor Strange, douche quickly and killed character take place in alternate universe outside of 616. That said, Pascal expected to hold on to the role for a long run, eventually make the jump to the MCU main continuity. Turns out why Krasinski was recasted as the Fantastic. It was seemingly never the plan for him to play the stretchy superhero in the MCU long term, because why give your fans what they actually friggin' want?
Why didn't they just bring Jessica Alba back?
Actually, what the fan cast was for him to be Mr. Fantastic and his wife to play Sue Storm. That's what your fan base wanted. So they didn't get the second one, and they basically teased the first one. Okay, they confronted on a commentary explaining that Krasinski was because the fans had a dream of who perfect Reed Richards would be and such. It appears that the star was only brought in for that movie to fulfill long-running fan cast as a fun one-off cameo. It's funny that Kevin cast John because the fans have had a dream of the perfect Reed Richards would be, and because this is an alternate universe, I think Kevin said, let's make that dream come true. Always enjoyed all of his performances. And this, in a nutshell, is what's wrong with the fucking MCU. Seriously. It's like...
So this year's gonna be really bad, huh?
No, I don't know. But it's like, bro, your customers are asking you for something. So instead of just giving it to him, like just cast him to be this, Because even though it's an alternate universe, they don't necessarily mean he has to look any different between each one. It could be the same. Because in the movie, every damn Doctor Strange looked like freaking Cumberbatch. So it's just like this insane thing where you just decide that I'm gonna kind of give you what you're looking for and throw you a middle finger. It's like they don't want money, and it's the same thing. Like people who are fans of the Captain America thing, like comic, it's like you should have gave the shield to Bucky. You set it up in different things to indicate that that's what you were going to do, and because of Black Lives Matter, you decided to give it to Sam Wilson, even though that concept failed in the comic books. People actually like the Bucky Cap in the comic books. The Sam Wilson Cap didn't go over very well because it was stunt cast. It was because you did it to change all your characters, to race change, sex change, make them younger, all that stuff, all at the same time, and people hated it.
Yeah, I mean, they basically destroy our. I mean, what else can they destroy? You know.
It's all right. In terms of why Krasinski didn't land the Mr. Fantastic role full time, the reasons behind his replacement are unclear. That's because Kevin Feige makes dumb decisions. Perhaps the actor simply didn't fit the retro future vision of the Fantastic Four. I don't know why he would not. Was looking forward to the actor director's busy schedule and may have been ruled out long term commitment. Talks the role no longer being considered before Pascal surfaced as the forerunner, the front runner, and other rumor casting Adam Driver, Penn Bagley, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Matt Smith, and more. So
why are they always giving some of these movies to Pedro Pascal?
Because
he's coming out almost in everything.
Because he is ethnic, but he's white-ish. So he looks white for the most part. He looks like mostly white, but he's ethnic. So you can say that you have an ethnic. So that way they can have a Fantastic Four movie with all four look for the most like.
Where was the first time you ever seen him, Pedro Pascal?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones?
Yeah. He was that dude that flipping all over the place and got killed by the mountain.
Yeah. I got to see him on Narcos on Netflix.
All right. So he is ethnic, but he is also white looking. So it's like he's like the best of both worlds in this
like
weirdness.
European.
Right. So it's like this weird, he's Chilean. It's like this weird ass thing that they're doing in Hollywood right now. Was identity politics. So you don't get the backlash, as much as the backlash from the fans if you do, because like for the most part, nobody thought that they was gonna cast all white people to be the Fantastic Four. Like nobody thought that. So by casting the other three to be white, I don't know, like Ben Grimm, I'm not exactly sure what he is, but so Sue Storm and Johnny Storm are white. But then you cast a ethnic looking, but also white passing Pedro to be Mr. So at a overall glance, they all look like they look somewhat correct to some normie eyes. So anybody who has a passing idea because of the previous movies, like Mr. Fantastic is white because he's been white in every other movie. So he looks white enough.
I mean, when he came out of Narcos on Netflix, the Pablo Escobar one, he was a DA agent. I thought he was a good actor there, but it fit good for that role he did.
Yeah, and he was fine as the Mandalorian. I haven't watched The Last of Us.
I watched the first season.
Yeah, so I haven't watched that. So I guess he was okay in that too. So it's like he's not a terrible actor. They just cast him and everything, and for that particular reason, he can pass. So it's just like when they cast some like Zendaya.
So basically, he's gonna take over Reed Richards.
Right. So he's Reed Richards,
See,
even though he's
that one don't fit for him.
no, because he's short. Reed Richards is over 6'3"
Yeah,
or
he's
something
tall.
like that. Tall dude who's actually somewhat muscular and the actual leader of the Fantastic Four. And just from the trailer, I don't get that impression from him. He doesn't come across as
What's the purpose they didn't want Reed Richards? Is it because of money or something he said, or
no. Is they just Hollywood is in this weird ass thing. Is
they always been weird?
no, it's like Henry Cavill came out and he was very fan favorite, but they wouldn't cast him in anything because he was a white guy. So now he's in his 40s. So his time period of him becoming a huge star passed. I mean, he could probably still do stuff, but him being an action star, that passed because whenever he got anything, because the way that Hollywood was at the time, kind of like with The Witcher. So The Witcher winds up being not about The Witcher, but everyone around the damn Witcher, even though everybody liked him as The Witcher. So people were pissed off and went away because he was good in the first season, and then the second season was about everybody else but the damn Witcher. So then he leaves in the third season, and half the people who watched in the first season, like hardly any of them came back because you did that. And it just Hollywood is this weird ass fucking place, dude. Like seriously, it's like with the thing I showed you with G20. Who greenlit this? Like, why would anybody think that this is gonna make any money? So
It's gonna be on Amazon Prime, right?
I guess. Who's gonna watch it? The whole point of
I'm
you
not gonna
making
watch
movies, the whole point of you making these movies and put them on your streaming service is that people sign up for your streaming service. But the weird thing about Amazon Prime is like nobody really signs up for Amazon Prime. They signs up for the shipping, and then you just get that. So it's freaking dude. All this stuff is just weird. But you see instance after instance after instance where the customer base, which is the fan base, is asking for something, and the people who are making the thing are like, no, we're not gonna do it. This is like over and over. And there's evidence of when you actually give in to what the fans want, like Sonic. That would have been a flop. If they would have put that movie out with Sonic looking like he did in the first movie, that shit would have been a flop. Now they're working on the fourth one. Because the dude because the guy had enough, I guess, pulled this to say, okay, the fans hate this, so we're gonna make Sonic look like Sonic. He looks like Sonic, he acts like Sonic, and then he went to like the people didn't like a lot of the second one because it focused on the humans too much. So the third one, they're barely in it because he listened to the people who are giving him money. But for whatever damn reason, the rest of these people don't want to do that. The thing with Star Trek, Picard, huge hit with the fans, come back. Every other thing that they're making, nobody gives a crap about. They had a nice build into another damn show that they could have put out that would have pleased the fans. It could have brought more of the fans back. And what did they do? They said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do some other crap. We're going to do this. What they wound up doing instead was Section 31 and Starfleet Academy. Nobody watched the Section 31, and nobody's going to watch the other thing. But you had handed to you on a platter another show that you could have had going for another 2 or 3 years. And the people who make it are like, nah, you ain't got to do it. Who cares what you want? Even though we need you to come watch this shit.
And those movies they make, they were pretty big, right? All the Sonic movies.
Yeah, because they don't cost that much to make, and they make around 3 to 4. I think the last one made like close to 500 million. So you got a movie that cost you 100 million to make. The advertisements maybe another 50 million. So yeah, you make a profit. Not a lot of. It's depending on what it is. It's not. Could be a little bit, but it's a profit. So you got a time period where all these movies are not making any money. You're losing 200 million here, 200 million there, that kind of thing. And they just it's like they just don't want money. Bro, they wanted you to cast this dude as Mr. Fantastic. You should have just did it. Whatever other stupid ass thing that y'all had going on. But so All right. Do you remember Spaceballs?
Spaceballs?
Yeah.
Not really.
All right. So Spaceballs was a parody of the Star Wars movies. All right. It was a lot of humor, raunchy. It's Mel Brooks, so there's a lot of raunchy humor, a lot of stuff that Disney puts disclaimers on right now. All right. So they keep saying it. They keep threatening to remake these things, like this remake. Well, I don't think they can do Blazing Saddles. Yeah, I don't think that they can do Blazing Saddles, but I don't know if anybody would want them to do that anyway. So there's talks of them making a sequel to Mel Brooks' Star Wars spoof, and this will be done without Mel Brooks because I don't know if he's dead or not. I think he passed. May the Force be with you. It's actually pretty funny. So we've been hearing rumors of potential Spaceball sequel for many years, and recently got confirmation that a follow-up to Mel Brooks' 80s Star Wars spoof is officially in the works. Movies in development at Amazon MGM Studios with Josh Gad set to star and produce alongside Brooks. Well, I guess he's still alive. Josh Greenbaum will direct the film from screenplay by Benji Samet, Dan Hernandez, and Gad. Gad aside, no cast members have been announced, but we've been hearing the studio has reached out to a major new star for an undisclosed role in the movie. In that Hollywood Reporter's profile of Wicked star Grandy, Trey mentions that recent Academy Award nominee has been offered a number of roles, which she has yet to commit to. Disaster wedding comedy, female detective romp set in housewife style reality show, and a baseball sequel. Plot details are still on the wraps, but the original movie is full on farce. Following the general plot, Star Wars New Hope, and while it's making fun of other space set and sci-fi properties such as Star Trek 2001, Planet of Apes, and Alien. Space starred Bill Pullman as Lone Star, and the late John Candy as Barf, Daphne Zuniga as Princess Vespa, Rick Morales as Dark Helmet, and Brooks as the dual role of Presidents Scroob and Yogurt. I have no idea what any of these actors will reprise their roles in respective roles or who Gad is set to play. Moranis has revealed that he's pitched a sequel to Brooks back in 2013 with the proposed title Spaceballs 3, The Search for Spaceballs 2. Nothing ever came of it, but in 2015, Brooks said that he would be interested in releasing a new movie after the next Star Wars film and hoped that Moranis would reprise his role. The legendary film artist said that this version of the movie we call Spaceball 2, The Search for More Money. Spaceballs received mixed reviews upon release. It sits at 52% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it has developed a loyal following over the years. Gab responds to the news via Instagram post shortly after the story broke. My phone has never exploded as hard as it did today. We're very excited. Early days still, but working on legendary male freaking Brooks to make something worthy of his franchise and his legacy has been a dream come true. These people and I worship the altar to all things Brooks, and we're doing everything in our power alongside Mel to make sure you get what you waited 37 years for, everything. I'm like, dude, I have zero faith whatsoever in this being anything good.
That's gonna flop. I could tell already.
Well, it's like because they don't do comedies like that no more. They talk shit about everybody, dude. There's a scene where like the Black Stormtroopers had like helmet look like an afro. Bro, it was jokes upon jokes upon jokes about everybody, about Jews being greedy, black people would act like it's just all the black people were hip. It was like they were combing the desert, right? So all the white people had like regular combs, and when you get to the Black Stormtrooper, they had a pick.
Oh, you can't do that show right with this
Right, so-
environment now.
Right. So it's like, how are you gonna do anything like that? There was no way in hell that you're gonna be able to make jokes about anybody because Hollywood is afraid to offend people. So if you're making a movie where it's us it talks crap about everybody. It's like what is she Ariana Grande, she's gonna be Rey? You think anybody wants to see a spoof about Rey? No. So it's like, who the hell is she gonna play? Is she gonna be Princess Leia? Or the stand-in for Princess Leia?
Imagine like Married with Children back then, how it was.
Yeah.
That show will not survive in this climate.
No. So none of the stuff. So like them attempting to do any damn thing from the 80s will not work because it was the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So all this stuff, it's like the do the Goonies is not gonna work. It's just, dude, because you don't get the humor. Because most of the people who gonna be writing this shit were like 2 years old or not even born when this stuff came out. So you do not understand the 80s because you weren't there. You weren't there for the 70s, the 80s, or the 90s. So you got all these 20-year-olds who are trying to capture the magic of a time period that they did not exist in.
True.
And a lot of them have zero respect for anything in the past. So therefore they won't even give it like proper homage. So it's just like, I have no faith. I have like Josh Gad, his hip deep in the Kamala Bros and all this other crap. So that dude is not going to make anything that's going to be interesting to me. No, is Mel Brooks movie, and Mel Brooks is 90 years old. So how much input does he actually have into this? I have no idea. It could be a lot. It could be a little bit. And Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and all these dudes, they're past the point where they can recreate the stuff that they made in their youth because they took chances in their youth. Now they're older, they don't want to take any chances. You know, everything's safe. That's why you got people coming out and doing stuff where it's like when they killed off like John Connor in the it's like in the what's the hell?
Terminator?
There you go. Damn, I hate being old. Oh, it's like you did that. I'm like, why would you do that? It's like, seriously, your fan base is a certain way. Why the hell would you do that? But he's stuck in his weird wokeness, so he wanted to just create another female savior. It's like, why? It was stupid.
I believe the last Terminator was a woman, right?
Right.
When Arnold shows up to fight her.
Right. So essentially, what they did, the last Terminator was that Spanish dude. So he was a Spanish dude. That was the body that
Spanish, but there was a girl.
Right. So she was she played the person's. It was the same damn movie again. So they just redid the first Terminator and just changed two of the characters, made one Mexican and the other two women. So she played the what's the name of the dude that came back? Like, I can't remember, but she played that part. Right. What made it stupid is John Connor had lieutenants.
You talking about Jamie Lee Curtis?
No. So she wasn't it. No, but what made that whole thing stupid is John Connor had lieutenants. So you could have just told a story about one of his lieutenants. Because in Terminator 3, the Terminator went back and killed his lieutenants.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they couldn't kill him, but they can kill the people who helped him. Right. So it's like, so they were trying to kill him and all his lieutenants. That's the whole point. You could have made a movie about that, where she was just she was from South America. So she was one of his lieutenants in South America. That's all you could have did. Then you wouldn't have pissed the fan base off, but for whatever damn reason, they decided to kill John Connor and replace him with a 4'11" chick.
Mm-hmm.
No, it just so with that in the background, I have no faith whatsoever in whatever the hell monstrosity Josh Gad is gonna make for Spaceballs. So
it's gonna be a flop, man.
Yeah. But speaking of flops, all right. Your favorite thing in the world that you got me to watch, and I'm still upset that you got me to watch. Lord of the Rings, man. Your favorite thing has been renewed for season 3.
I told you they said their plan is for 5 seasons.
All right. So Amazon Prime Video has announced today that the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power will return for season 3. While the news was expected, it comes several months after season 2 concluded. The season 2 finale ended with some big cliffhangers, with the elves resolving to stand against Sauron's army as it marched across Middle Earth. Helping matters was the fact that the elves and the dwarves had crafted their own powerful rings capable of leveling the playing field, one of which made you instantly evil. Like, that was so stupid.
I mean, the last episode when they fought that war, that was the most dumbest scenes, especially when they were all riding the horse
Yeah,
and
dude.
they suddenly stop, like they suddenly stop in front of the orcs. That was the stupidest.
Bro, it was so idiotic.
And then they
Everything.
go to that meeting, right? And then they come out of the meeting, they're fighting again. It makes no sense.
Bro, the fact that you made like in the person whoever wrote this is like helping manage that they crafted their own powerful ring. Dude, the ring made the dwarf king evil like instantly. Like he went from this loving, like benevolent leader to this despot who was making everyone like instantly. So it's like, who in their right mind would want to wear this damn ring after you saw what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
The dude damn near let loose the Balrog into killing and everybody and sacrifice himself at the end to keep it from going and attacking him. I'm like, why it just didn't knock the it's big enough to knock the damn boulders out of the way and crawl through the hole and kill everybody in the dwarf mountain. That shit was just so retardedly stupid.
Yeah, and then when they're getting attacked, the doors look all stupid, like they don't know what to do.
Oh, the fact that they couldn't remember what like the way that elf city looked in the prior season, like it didn't have any damn walls. Now all of a sudden it had walls, and this was supposed to take place like what, months later?
No, I know, but I'm saying they just made them look so stupid.
Everything about this shit was just stupid, dude.
And they're getting attacked, and they're looking for the commanders to give them orders. Like, don't you have a general out there in the field or what, telling them what to do?
Bro, this all right. So we're getting a major type jump when Lord of the Rings of Power returns. An official log line states, jumping forward several years from the events of season 2, season 3 takes place at the height of the war of the elves and Sauron, as the Dork Lord seeks to craft the one ring that will give him the edge he needs to win the war and conquer all Middle Earth at last. The Lord of the Rings is currently pre-production in London's Shipperton Studios and expected to begin shooting this spring. But 2000, so we get to look forward to this in 2026. The Lord of the Rings continues to captivate audiences worldwide, and we're thrilled to have a third season on the way. You lost the bulk of your audience from the first season, so I don't know who's left to be thrilled. Don't know. I think most of the people watching it were YouTubers who were talking shit about it. The creative team has extraordinary vision of what's to come, with stories that have left us enchanted and enthralled. We look forward to continue this epic journey for our global customers, delving even deeper into the legendary tales that shape Middle Earth. Charlotte Brandstrom Shogun is his co-executive producer who directed multiple episodes in 1 and 2. Service season 3's executive producer and will direct multiple episodes. That does not make me feel better. Sanaa Himri, Roll of Time, which people also hated, also returned to direct with veteran filmmaker Stephen Schwartz. The Boys, which is people are starting to hate more and more, also boarding the series. Rings of Power brings screens for the first time the heroic legends of fabled Second Age and Middle Earth history. The epic drama set thousands of years before. Yada yada yada. All right. Aren't you excited about that?
Not really. That season 2 was, I was hoping much better than season first, but then when I seen the last episode, it was terrible. It just,
I cannot wait to see what I cannot wait to see how they screw this shit up even more, because it's gonna be weird, because the environment that like I was saying before, the cultural environment we are living right now is not like how it was when a lot of this shit started. So I am curious as the direction that they're gonna take.
it looked like they still have the same writers.
Right. But Hollywood is in kind of survival mode right now. Cause like, dude, they are getting rid of everything that was greenlit and already produced and put out like in the last 2 years. Cause they spent money on it, so they got to get rid of this shit. So they can't do a course correct for at least 2 or 3 years. So who knows where we'll be at as a culture at that point. And people ain't messing with the girl boss shit like at all. Like none whatsoever. Just the 5'2" chick beating the crap out of 6'3" behemoths. That just gets laughed at now. Nobody takes that serious.
Who was the writer for Lord of the Rings? Was it Steven Jackson or what's the name?
Steven Jackson?
Not Steven Jackson. What's the guy that created Lord of the Rings?
Oh, J.R.R. Tolkien?
No, Tolkien was the
Yeah, that's Lord of the Rings. J.R.R.
Lord of the
Tolkien.
Rings. Yeah. I'm thinking of something else. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's just I am curious as to what's gonna. So I'll probably watch the first couple of episodes and see just what the hell is they're gonna do, because this is supposed to take place in the middle of the battle. Never mind that Sauron was in the elves camp. Never mind that he was captured by the dude he killed at the end of this series, and he could have been killed then. Never mind none of that stuff. So it's supposed to take a couple of years later. So they're in the thick of the fight. A lot of the elves got killed. So I'm curious as to what the hell they're gonna put on the screen.
I mean, Peter Jackson can't save this shit.
They asked him to come back. They asked him to consult on it, and then they never called him back.
That's what I'm saying. Even with this 2 seasons, he can't save this shit. It's so.
Yeah, that's why I said, dude, I am hella curious, dude. But all right. So
I mean, you're forced to watch it, so.
Yeah. All right. So there is a rumor that, bro, did you hear what Mark Hamill said about Luke Skywalker?
No, I know he's making crazy comments.
Yeah, that if you think Luke Skywalker is gay, then he's gay. Now, keep that in mind with this other rumor about the Mara Jade television show. So Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire trilogy, fans met Mara Jade and learned that she was once Emperor's hand undercover in Jabba the Hutt's palace during the events of Return of the Jedi, and she didn't make it into the cell barge in time and failed to assassinate Luke Skywalker. That's the whole part of her mission was to kill Luke Skywalker. She never got to do it, so it made a weird dynamic between those two, because she wasn't compelled to do it because of Palpatine anymore. But Palpatine's loyal soldiers subsequently blamed him for both Palpatine's defeat and the fact that she lost everything, prompting her to hurt Luke down years later. That's weird. Despite initially setting out to kill the Jedi, Mara ultimately realized that Palpatine planted the idea in her head at the moment of his death and embraces the idea of being a Jedi too. After ridding herself of Sith's voice by dealing a killing blow to Luke, a clone, Luke with 2 U's, a clone of Luke created by a dark Jedi, Joruus Sabath. It's a long story. Eventually, she and Luke marry and have children, something we know can't happen thanks to the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I don't count the sequel trilogy. I'm a Legends guy, so as far as I'm concerned, that is the true canon of Star Wars, and that Disney crap is just crap. So, dude, because it's I'm not a Rey fan. However, she still introduces a compelling new female protagonist who was front and center of this next era of storytelling for many fans. The hope is that Dave Filoni might introduce her in his upcoming Star Wars movie, also rumored to be titled Heir to the Empire. Once again, taking the name of a popular thing, doing your own BS with it.
He's gonna ruin it now.
Look, they're already ruining Thrawn. So, all right. My Time to Shine H brings word that Lucasfilm is developing a TV series revolving around Mara Jade. While we imagine most of her history with Luke will be scrapped, then there is no reason for her existence. Her whole entire existence is Luke Skywalker. That's why taking a story from the Legends and trying to shoehorn Rey and whatever the other stupid ass characters that they made into it makes no sense, because it's all tied to the Skywalker family. So if you get rid of all the Skywalkers, then shit don't make no damn sense.
Why are they saying Ahsoka was reportedly a hit for Lucasfilm in season 2? Is there what? It was never a hit. That shit sucked.
Because it's gaslighting.
Yeah.
This is a kind of like a lefty leaning site too, a bit, but it's just it is people who cannot admit that. Dude, they got people who think that the Acolyte was a hit
Yeah, no.
because it got
so-
certain amount. It's like you're trying to explain to people. It's like, no, it wasn't because yada yada, such and such and such and such, and they just
Well, I don't
completely
consider
ignore.
that Star Wars, so
No, and it's the main reason why nobody watched the friggin' well, not just the main reason, but it's one of the reasons why people didn't watch Skeleton Crew. Because one, that was not Star Wars. The ships weren't Star Wars. The ships had like rockets and all that stuff on it, like to land. The engines folded down, and it like lit off fire to land. I'm like, Star Wars ships have repulsor lifts. They don't need rockets to land. That's not how Star Wars ships work.
yeah. I
So
started watching it only the 4th episode, I believe. I stopped watching it.
yeah, so it just like it didn't. Yeah, so. But this goes back to what I was saying before. It's like if they don't get their head out of their ass and start to realize that they need to make stuff that appeals to their customer base, then it's a wrap. I mean, it's already mostly a wrap. So Mark Hamill has just basically pissed off most of the Star Wars fans. They just think of him as an asshole, and so it's like Luke Skywalker, like completely separate him from Luke Skywalker. So he could say whatever the hell he wants.
Anyway, they
And-
already have the actor that can cast them,
Bro, but it's just like at this point, people just like, fuck him. Like seriously,
It's
like
weird.
no, he is hip. He has TDS, so that's causing issues, and then he just buried into what is Hollywood right now, where they just don't want to do anything that appeals to their customer base. It's why on their award shows that come out and talk shit about the customer base.
If he would have just kept his mouth shut, he would have been loved by everybody,
Yeah, but they don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
The worst thing that ever happened to stars was social media. Because
Well, everybody loves Anakin. What's his name, the actor?
right, because he don't come out and talk shit about the fans.
Yeah, when he came out on that, what do they call that? The thing they do over there, and that where they show up, everybody was cheering.
Yeah.
He almost got so emotional because everybody was just so loud cheering.
Yeah, that's what happens when the prequels that you were in pale in comparison to the shithole, the shittiness that is the sequel series, the stuff that Disney been doing. So when you go back and you look at that stuff, it's like, yeah, this wasn't that bad.
Nah, he was a good actor too.
Right. So they don't know how to give people what they want. So I don't know, like Ahsoka supposedly is gonna have him, Obi-Wan, and what's her name?
Sabine.
No. Padme. So the girl who played Padme, she's gonna be supposedly, it's probably gonna be all flashbacks.
Yeah, it has to be flashbacks.
Right. So it's gonna be all flashbacks, and then it's gonna have the like the young Ahsoka. So it's they have to decide if they want to exist anymore. Because like once this AI stuff really kicks in, like really, where it starts to look not as weird as it does now, but actually look legit, that's a wrap, dude. Because then everyone who can make something is gonna make it, and then it's like, so people watch a lot of people sitting in their room like this, chit-chatted with each other about various things. They watch that more than they watch television shows and high budgets and all that stuff.
Oh, that's true. I mean, that is true. Nobody's watching TV no more.
Yeah, because they did this to themselves, because they jumped into this echo chamber and just started making stuff that they like. And it's the same thing with like video games, is that's what's happening too. They hired a bunch of people who don't make video games for people who play video games. They make video games for themselves. And then when this stuff don't make no money, they sit around and they're all shocked with the Pikachu face. Like, like, why did that happen?
Pikachu face.
Bro, it's like the Sony just had their state of play. It's just like, you look at this crap And it's, none of the people who are talking, they look like they play video games. None of them. So it was like a movie was like a weird dream thing, but you use a gun to shoot bubbles or something, some weird ass. I'm like, who the hell is this for? Who are you making this stuff? You are a business. You need to sell a product that your customer base wants to give you money for. You, on the other hand, wants to sell them, hire a bunch of crazy people who make all this weird shit. And on top of that, you want to charge them $100 for the damn game.
Yeah.
Like, are you insane? Like, seriously. It's like, it is not our fault that you have these bloated budgets. Same thing with the movies. Same thing, television. No one is telling you to make this stuff. You have decided to make this stuff. You decided to make G20 and the Woman King and all the crap that nobody wants to give you money to go see.
You think they do this on purpose, where they try to spend so much money so they have an excuse to raise the price?
No. It is you hired a bunch of people who only care about the message. That's it. They don't care about making money. And that has affected friggin' everything. So they're bragging about how the gaming industry now is 32% women and non-binary people. It's like, that's not a brag. The reason why that's not a brag is because you're not making any money.
Yeah, because I bought that game, the NBA one, with Tatum.
Yeah,
it sucked. To buy this, buy that, like, the hell with this game. I only played like 3 times. That was it.
The 2K started to go. It's been going down here for the last 10 years, and I actually was a game tester when on the first Kobe one, and this is where they introduced VC. So we were sitting there trying to figure out, like, what the hell is this VC stuff? Because you had to use it to boost your character. So when you're in game, like when you're in testing, it is unlimited. The game is set up so that you can make it whatever you want. So you can make a 99 player or whatever, because you get unlimited VC. All right. So what we didn't know at the time was this was a means for them to make money. So what used to happen was if you get the deluxe version of the game, you got enough VC where you can make an 80 whatever level character. That's basically the height that you can get by paying for it, like 85 or something like that. So your character's a superstar. He's just not a MJ LeBron level superstar, but he's good enough where you can do pretty much whatever you want, and then you can earn enough stuff where you can build your character up. All right. So about 5 years ago, they decided to boost up how much VC costs, which is crazy because they had a huge backlash before that because they decided to make you pay for haircuts. So every time you got a haircut, when you went to go get another haircut, you had to pay VC for that, which pissed people the hell off, right? So now when you buy the deluxe version of the game, the amount of VC that you get does not let you make your character into the level of him being like the cap. It doesn't hit. You don't hit the cap. It's not enough money. You actually have to spend like another $30 or something like that.
So stupid.
Oh, and the VC is tied to your account. So a lot of these systems are set up where you can do family accounts, where you buy the game and everyone who, like, Xbox does this. PlayStation does it to a degree, I think. I never tried it, but I'm not sure. But on Xbox, if your home system, everyone has access to whatever you like, whatever game you buy, right? So the full bone, like all the bells and whistles. So some of the gaming companies decided that to lock all the extra stuff to one account. So whoever is the main account is the one who gets all the extra stuff, the tennis shoes or whatever. And anybody else, they can play the game, but they don't get the extra stuff. Now, like Ubisoft does that, and Take-Two does that. So like EA doesn't do that, and like so it's like a weird thing where the reason for that is because you hired a bunch of people who were not gamers. The first whatever years of the gaming industry, everything was run by gamers. That's who designed the games. That's who put the games out. Yada yada yada. So then it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you start hiring corporate people. You start hiring corporate people who like Reggie. I can't remember what his last name was, but he was a really popular guy from Nintendo. But he used to work at it was Panda Express. So he was like a head guy in Panda Express, and then he got a job over in Nintendo. Now, no, the thing about him though was he was still a gamer, so he understood gamers, right? But he started hiring more and more people from other industries to come in, and they making the decisions based on the other industry, like selling widgets or whatever. So they're not thinking about the gamer. So they're basically killing, because they're getting greedy, they're killing the industry slowly but surely. And it's the same thing with television and all of the other shit. It's the same thing. It's like you've hired people who aren't fans of the thing to produce the thing. So they don't really care about the thing. So they're not, and they don't really care about the fan base. They actually are upset with the fan base. So they just make whatever project that they want, regardless of whether or not the fan base likes it or not. And again, they sit back and they're shocked. They're like, well, how come we're not getting any, nobody's watching? Like, bro, you're not making anything nobody wants to give you money for.
That's why everybody wants to play the old games, huh?
Yeah, because there's a lot of reasons. Is no microtransactions, and the stories are better because they actually just made the story. You can be offensive or whatever. So, man. All right, well, that's enough for that. Boy. So we're at this for like an hour. So I think it's time to call it a wrap. So you may go see Captain America tomorrow, maybe.
I might, yeah.
I may see it Tuesday. Just for something to see. My expectations are very low. So no, it is. Like it is. It's super low. Hopefully, trying to think of the last MCU movie that I watched. I didn't see the Marvels. I think maybe it was Shang-Chi. So as long as it's yeah,
I didn't go see Dr. Man was Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah. There you go. So that was they could have did more with that. The fact that was just a Scarlet Witch sequel. So if you didn't watch the damn television show, you wouldn't have had no idea what the hell was going on. So
you're talking about Vision, right?
Yeah. So yeah, instead of making a Doctor Strange movie, it was kind of like what they did with the Boba Fett show. How they stuck a couple of Mandalorian episodes in the middle of the Boba Fett show. Like if you didn't watch the Mandalorian, you would have no idea what the hell's going on. And if you watch the third season of the Mandalorian and you didn't watch Boba Fett, you would have no idea why Grogu was back with the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that these companies realize their mistakes and come around, because I still want to be entertained. That's it. I don't want to be lectured to. I got my own viewpoints on the world. You can be subtle with your viewpoints and stuff. But I think most people aren't interested in anymore is the over the top, hit you upside the head with the viewpoint stuff. I think most people are over that.
Well, I don't see no good movies coming out this year.
Well, Fantastic Four should be okay. There's a couple that look like they might be interesting, but all right. Well, on that note, we should be more optimistic. So I will try to be. But on that note, I would like to say thanks for the couple people who checked us out. Thank you. I wish you would commented. That would have been nice. But you can just watch. That's fine. So anybody who watches us afterwards, thank you. And you got any last words there, Ricky?
Smash that button.
Please like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And peace.
Peace.
Peace.